All right, so today we're doing vocabulary on cell structures. Vocabulary on cell structures. The first word we're going to be doing is organelles. Organelles. Organelles are the structures found inside of a cell. So all the structures you find inside of a cell are considered organelles. They're like tiny little organs. That's how people thought of them. So they call them organelles. But they are the structures found inside of a cell. So that's what you put for organelles. Structures you find inside of a cell. On your vocabulary, you'll see that we're going to be going over the organelles that are found inside of a cell. Ribosome, nucleus, cytoplasm, lysosome, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi Apparatus, vacuole, Chloroplast, cell wall, centrals. We're all going to, well, maybe not cell wall, but centrals. They're all going to be organelles. All right? Let's go ahead and continue. Next word, ribosomes. Ribosomes. Make proteins. Make proteins. Ribosomes. Just put make proteins and put look like little dots in the cell. Look like little dots in the cell. Again, if you look at the picture behind me, where you see the little dots, those are the ribosomes. That's a ribosome. A little dot circle looking thing. All right? And they make proteins. Some people say they're not organelles because they're not stuck inside the membrane, but for our purpose, we're going to say they're organelles. All right, so ribosomes, put this down. Make sure you have that written down for ribosomes. Make proteins. They look like little circles, little dots inside the cell. Next word, nucleus. Nucleus. For nucleus, put this down. Looks like a ball in the middle of the cell, just so that you get a visual of it. Looks like a ball in the middle of the cell. Holds the DNA inside. Holds the DNA inside. It holds the DNA inside. And then important thing that also needs to be written down, and we talked about it last class. Located in all eukaryotic cells. Located in all eukaryotic cells. So if it's a eukaryotic cell, it's going to have a nucleus. Next word, nucleic membrane. Nucleic membrane. For nucleic membrane, go ahead and put down the outer covering of the nucleus. The outer covering of the nucleus. You could say the outer membrane of the nucleus. It's the outside part of the nucleus. All right, the outer covering or outer membrane of the nucleus. Nucleic membrane. Next word, cytoplasm. Cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is the jelly-like structure that holds the organelles in place. Cytoplasm, the jelly-like structure that holds the organelle in place. So on this picture, it's anywhere that you see that is blank. Wherever you see is blank, that would be your cytoplasm. See how here it shows the word cytoplasm, and then it's like pointing to nothing there. All right? Cytoplasm is the jelly-like structure that holds the organelles in place. It's like it's just the bottom floor of it. You can think of it like that. Next word, lysosomes. Lysosomes. Clean the cell using digestive enzymes. Clean the cell using digestive enzymes. Also recycle material. So it's either going to clean it or it's going to recycle the material found inside the cell. Okay, lysosomes. Clean the cell using digestive enzymes. Clean the cell using digestive enzymes. Also recycle material. Lysosome. And it's going to look like, it's going to be bigger than the ribosomes. It's going to be a smaller ball, but it's still bigger than the ribosomes, but it's smaller than the nucleus. Okay, lysosome is going to be a little ball that's bigger than the ribosomes, but smaller than the nucleus, the lysosome. All right, that's how it's going to look like. Next word, mitochondria. Mitochondria. The powerhouse of the cell. The powerhouse of the cell. right? Everyone always says that. Why? Because, make sure you write this down, makes energy slash ATP, because ATP is energy, so makes energy slash ATP through cellular respiration. Mitochondria makes energy slash ATP through cellular respiration. All right, that's the mitochondria. That's why they call it the powerhouse. Cell membrane. Now I'm on the next word. Cell membrane. Put this down for cell membrane. The outer barrier of the cell that keeps things in and out. Okay? The outer barrier of the cell keeps things in and out. Or you can say the outer barrier of the cell that separates it from the outside world. I'm saying the same thing there. Okay? And then an example could be, it's like a fence. An analogy could be, it's like a fence. Because what does a fence do? Doesn't it keep things in and out? Okay? Or doesn't it separate the inside of your yard from the outside part of your yard? You know, the regular public part. So, again, cell membrane separates the cell from the outside world, or you could put keeps things in and out. It's a barrier. It's like a fence. Again, cell membrane, put this down. Also, made of lipids, proteins. Made of lipids, made mostly of lipids. Okay, and then you put made of lipids, bilayer, and protein channels. See, made of lipids and proteins, lipid bilayer, protein channels. All right, and it does have some carbohydrates on it too. But for the main purpose right now, we need to know that it's made of lipids, proteins, and some carbohydrates, but mostly made of lipids. Okay, lipid bilayer. We're gonna have a whole day on cell membrane, so don't worry if you don't understand that part I was just talking about. Just understand that the cell membrane is the barrier from the cell to the outside world. It keeps things in and out. It's like a fence. All right. Next word, cell. Cell. Cell's a simple word. The basic unit of life. That's what we've been talking about. Cell, the basic unit of life. If it is alive, it is made of at least one cell or more. Again, if it is alive, it has to be made of one cell or more. Why? Because the cell is the basic unit of life. See, there's a cell right behind me. And if you notice, on this next poster here, it shows you cells of all different things. And cells are the basic unit of life. Okay, if you notice here, you have a bacteria cell. This should be a lot smaller because a bacteria or prokaryotic cell is way smaller, right, than a eukaryotic cell. Then you have two eukaryotic cells, an animal one and a plant one. Because if it's alive, it's made up of at least one cell, that would be like bacteria, okay, or more, like animal and plant cells. All right, if it's alive, it's made up of at least one cell. Why? Because cells are the basic unit of life. A virus is not alive. Why is a virus considered non-living? Because a virus is not made up of cells. Or you could say a virus isn't made up of even one cell. So that's why a virus would not be considered a living thing. That's a test question they love to ask. Is a virus considered a living thing? No. Is a virus alive? No. If it's not made of a cell, it is not alive. All right. Next word, endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum. The endoplasmic reticulum transports. So put this down for endoplasmic reticulum. Transports. Okay, and then you could put transports the ribosomes, the little dots, the little protein, the things that make the proteins. All right. If you have the rough endoplasmic reticulum, it's going to go ahead and transport the ribosomes. The rough endoplasmic reticulum transports the ribosomes. In fact, this one should have, like, if it had little dots on it, you know it's the rough one, because those are the ribosomes on it. All right? Kind of reminds me like rough stubble, you know? And if it doesn't have ribosomes on it, then it's the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. The main thing about the endoplasmic reticulum is it transports, okay? Transports things like the ribosomes. Transports things like the ribosomes. All right? Next word, Golgi Apparatus. Golgi Apparatus. The Golgi Apparatus, what does the Golgi Apparatus do? Packages, sorts, and ships things. Packages, sorts, and ships things out of the cell. So the Golgi apparatus is going to determine what stays in or what goes out of the cell. It packages, sorts, and ships things out of the cell, or keeps them in there. Golgi apparatus. Next word, vacuole. Vacuole. A vacuole, notice that you don't really see a vacuole on this animal cell over my back here, but you could see a vacuole very easily in the plant cell. Okay? If you notice, in this plant cell here, the vacuole will be this big, giant, pool-looking thing. All right? That would be your vacuole. This big thing, okay? The vacuole, write this down for vacuole, much bigger in plants. Stores water and nutrients. So vacuole, much bigger in plants, stores water and nutrients. But does the animal cell have a vacuole? Yes. So if you need to write that down, write it down, okay? Because I said vacuole is much bigger in plants. But some people just think, oh, it's just in plants. No, they'd be wrong. Vacuole is much bigger in plants, used to store water and nutrients. Animal cells have vacuoles too. It's just a lot smaller. The vacuole in this animal cell, I think it'd be probably like here. All right, much more small, much smaller. Okay, the vacuole. All right, next word, chloroplast. Chloroplast. Put this down for chloroplast. Used in photosynthesis. Used in photosynthesis. You guys know photosynthesis when plants take in sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide, and they turn it into a sugar. Okay, so you guys know plants do photosynthesis by sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide, right? So photosynthesis, so chloroplast used in photosynthesis. All right, found in plant cells, not animal cells. Found in plant cells, not animal cells. That's the chloroplast. Makes sense because do we do photosynthesis? No. Next word, cell wall. So for cell wall, put this. The second outer barrier, of a cell, not found in animal cells. The second outer barrier of a cell, not located in animal cells. So if you look here, this one will have two barriers. It has one here, which is your cell membrane, and then another one, which is the cell wall. Okay, notice this is like a double barrier. All right, the animal cell does not have that. Okay, so again, cell wall, a second outer barrier, not found in animal cells. Animal cells have no cell walls. Okay, and then the last word, centrals. Centrals. Used for mitosis, cell reproduction, used for mitosis, cell reproduction, found in animal cells. Okay, used in mitosis, cell reproduction, found in animal cells. That would be your centrals. They're gonna look like, it's not on here. They're gonna have like these little, it's kind of hard to describe. They're like these little box. When you look at them on a picture, on the tests, and on regular pictures, it's gonna look like a little box. See if they have one on this one. No, they're like little spherical, not really spherical. They're like little boxes. They look like little boxes. All right, and that is the centrals. All right, so those are your words. Hopefully they helped you. You could do an analogy with all of them. Example: the nucleus would be the boss, the command center. Why? Because it holds the DNA. The cell membrane would be like a fence because it keeps things in and out. The lysosomes, they're kind of like janitors. They like clean things, and they might find something and reuse it, like a pencil on the floor. They might put it aside so that someone else could reuse it later. So the lysosomes are kind of like janitors. Also, lysosomes remind me of the word Lysol. And what does Lysol do? It cleans. So I would do that. I would kind of associate it with Lysol, lysosome, Lysol cleans. You could think of mitochondria as like the power plant because it makes energy. All right. The endoplasmic reticulum. The endoplasmic reticulum, it transports things. I like to think of it like a conveyor belt because it transports things, and a conveyor belt looks kind of like it. It's kind of like a flat. It looks like a flat belt. It's I like to picture the endoplasmic reticulum like a conveyor belt, but when you look at it, you're looking at the conveyor belt from the side, so it's going to look more like that. Or if you were looking at it from the top, it would look more flat. But yeah, the endoplasmic reticulum is kind of like a conveyor belt because it transports things. The Golgi Apparatus, I like to picture that as like a big shipping yard where they're stacking big containers, to ship things out. Or like a bag boy in a store where he says, "Did you buy this? Okay, I'll bag it up. Oh, you didn't buy that? Okay, it stays in the store." That's how I like to think of the Golgi Apparatus. The vacuole, I like to think of it like a pool, like a big pool. The Chloroplast, they're like little solar panels to me because they absorb the light and make energy. Or not really make energy, but they absorb the light and make photosynthesis, make sugar out of it. So, and then the sugar eventually gets turned into energy. So I like to think of the chloroplast like little solar panels. The cell wall, it's like just instead of a fence, you have a fence, and then you'd have like a wall, like a second wall. Really protect yourself if you were trying to, be inside of a cell. Centrals, they're just centrals. But yeah, you can like kind of picture these things and make analogies for these organelles different ways, and hopefully that'll help you. Any questions, just let me know. Hopefully this video helps.